Good morning, everyone. That was a show last night with the Aurora Borealis. I heard last minute that there was a solar storm, and so I positioned myself so that I could see north the best I could. I mean, the North Cascades right now, these mountains are very vertical. The valleys are very steep and narrow. And so it was a challenge, but I did find a place where I could see a little bit of the horizon. And so that was the best I was able to capture with my devices. I know the footage is grainy. I fiddled with the settings as best as I could. That is as best as I could do by shooting a time lapse. So the aurora was super, super subtle. It's not always like that. I have seen it when I was in Alaska. I've seen it from the cockpit of a 747. It can be a much more vibrant spectacle with moving gases and things like that. But for what I saw last night, the video is actually what I could see with my eyes. And then my photos and the time lapse was able to capture a much more vivid experience. So just something to be aware of if you are expecting or you're in a location that could be expecting to see the aurora. You might just be looking for something that's quite subtle that looks kind of like city lights in the distance. Like those were not city lights. That was definitely the aurora, but it's just not the same spectacle that you're always going to see in every location. I'm going to be honest with you. I am tired today. It wasn't the aurora that kept me up all night. There were some other things going on that I will get into later or in a later video if it proves pertinent. But for today, I am trying to get in my 200 milligrams of caffeine with my energy drink here. And here's the strategy for exploring North Cascades National Park today. I am currently towards the eastern side of the park. I am just right at Washington Pass, and the park starts west of here. I drove this far because I wanted to try to see the northern lights, and so that's how I ended up over here. But I really want to explore the park from west to east because I'm starting an eastbound trajectory, and it just makes sense for me to go ahead and do the long drive at the beginning of the day, especially feeling tired, and work our way through some of the sites together and experience the park ending up in the east. Now, I have been to this park before. I was here in 2020. I did a multi-day backpacking trip, as well as I did a beautiful hike of Cascade Pass and I always get this wrong. I'm so sorry. Sahale Arm? Sahale? Oh, geez. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I got that wrong, but that is an amazing hike. It's so beautiful, and I would like to do that again, although I think the road to that is closed. However, I was actually here a few weeks ago while I was still employed, and I did a hike called the Maple Pass Loop, and that was also just a remarkable hike. Absolutely stunning. Really a lot of beautiful autumn color even a few weeks ago. The larch trees hadn't turned yet. I am hoping to see some yellow larch trees today. But while I do this almost hour-long drive to the west side of the park to get us started, I want to share with you the footage that I took of that hike I did a few weeks ago. And I'll catch you at the beginning of our journey on the west side.
Hi, I'm Christine. After starting life over in 2020, I'm using seasonal work to build financial security, experience new places, and most importantly, keep living life as a big adventure. Come along as I live like a local in desired destinations, spend time in nature hiking, backpacking, and living out of my car, and craft the trips of my dreams on a backpacker's budget. Owned and managed by the Seattle City Light, Newhalem is part of the Skagit Hydroelectric Project, which extends 40 miles along the Skagit River from Newhalem to the Canadian border. Newhalem is an old company town that was built to support the power grid and the hydroelectricity that comes from the dam here in the Skagit River. Under the leadership of J.D. Ross, the Skagit Project enjoyed a national reputation as a showcase promoting hydroelectricity and municipal ownership prior to World War II. While I'm in town, I'm going to stop into the general store and pick up a gallon of water if they have it. Designed and built in 1920, the general store is one of the 3 buildings on Main Street dating to the town's early development. Back then, employees paid for items using a script, a substitute for cash. The company store serves residents and visitors today. Old Number 6, a Baldwin steam locomotive, played an important role in the construction of the Skagit Project. It operated on Seattle City Lights' Skagit River Railway, which ran 23 miles from Rockport to Newhalem and later extended to Diablo. The railroad, built in 1920, carried construction materials, equipment, and workers to the town's dams and powerhouses. By 1940, the U.S. Forest Service had developed a passable road to Newhalem, but travel to the area by passenger car was not common until after World War II. 4 remaining bunkhouses dating back to the 1920s and 30s are just east of Main Street. They were used to house City Light employees during the winter months and tourists in the summer. Back to the car. There's actually a little hike here out of town that I might go do. It's just like 0.6 miles or something like that. But I'm going to make my breakfast. These are delicious looking overnight oats that I soaked starting last night. So my plan is to heat these things up and make some sort of dish using the waffle maker. I have no idea if this is going to work. I've only added water to it, so I think I might add in some sugar-free syrup as well. It's very wet. It smells good, but I feel like this may be a fail. Like, I may regret this and never ever do it again. Probably gonna find out in a couple minutes here.
I mean, it's hot.
All right, now for the apples. We'll see how this is. I definitely did not do what I wanted it to do. I think maybe I was just impatient, or maybe this just doesn't work. But it's still edible, so I'll eat it. cute. So this is the Skagit River that we are crossing right now. Throughout my trip in North Cascades, you'll probably notice that the water is very sort of turquoisey blue, and that's because it's glacial silt in the water runoff, which reflects the light in such a way. It is the true color of the water as it appears to our eyes anyway. Obviously water is clear, but in person it looks the same as it does on camera, is what I'm trying to say. An interesting fact, but North Cascades National Park has the highest concentration of glaciers in the lower 48 states. So take that, Glacier National Park. You see all these cedars growing in a line here. Apparently it's because there at one point was a fallen log, such as this, and the seedlings all started on the log. And so now they are all in a line. That's pretty cool. Now I'm getting back in the car and I'm heading east, but I did see some news that it's going to rain starting tonight and tomorrow. And for tomorrow I had a hike planned that I really, really want to do, but I don't want to do it in the rain just because I want the sunlight and the views through the trees with the sun. I think it'll be much more beautiful for me to do that today. The hike takes about 2 hours to complete, I think, so if I shave some time off of my travels today and make my stops a little bit quicker moving forward, then I should be able to get it done today. So, a little bit of change of plans, but we're going to make it work. This place that I parked here is the visitor parking, and I believe it's cool to stay the night here. I'm not going to, but yeah, I read on iOverlander that this is a legit place to park for the night. Don't worry, it's not all car views. We are going to stop in just a second. One advantage I have over this van that's in front of me here is that I can hustle up these mountain roads. I may not have all the amenities and all the space and storage, but she's light and quick in this Subaru.
little bit of clarification. I've actually crossed over to the Okanogan-Wenatchee National Forest, so I'm no longer in the national park. This is the hike that I was wanting to do. It's called Blue Lake. It's 2.2 miles in each direction, so 4.4 round trip. And I'll have about 918 feet of elevation gain. I'm expecting it'll take me about 2 hours to complete. I'm seeing some spectacular beauty now. Wow. Wow, it's incredible. We've lost the light a little bit on the lake, but the journey here was spectacular, and this is still so beautiful. I'm gonna zoom back to the car because we're losing the light and my phone battery is running kind of low, so I'll see you there.